Hey, what's up? I'm gonna do one matchup analysis before I head out, but in the spirit of Halloween and in the spirit of being really lazy in general, I put a little spider in the corner because hey, happy Halloween, everyone. But I'm gonna do a quick analysis on Game 3 of a set between Subtails and VG. I'm gonna be talking about Subtails mostly because I think that the way that he played it, um, it's always interesting to see how different strategies work and how they succeed or do not succeed, depending on like execution and like how your different options and stuff, right? Subtails is trying to do something the entire game. Like he has a strategy figured out against VG, but his execution is what determines whether or not he goes even or wins or loses or whatever. So give me a sec. I need to turn this down to, if I remember correctly, 6% so that the audio of the commentators don't overpower the audio of my mic. But okay, let's go here. So Subtails plays Sheik and VG plays Zelda. And what you're going to see a lot is you're going to see Subtails doing stuff like that, right? It's very wait for something to happen, right? And then afterwards, you're going to punish, right? You need to bait VG into doing something. You're going to be doing most of the approaching. You're going to be doing most of the reacting as well. So you want to like bait VG into doing an unsafe option, and then you're going to punish like this, right? And then, yeah, like, that was 41%, right? That's like a pretty good punish, right? Off of just waiting for something to happen, just taking advantage and just like baiting something out, right? So that's what Subtails is going to do. He's just going to look for holes in VG. Like right there, that was like an attempt, right? If he was a little fast, or if he was a little slower, right, then he would have been able to get out of this hitbox. I think that was like the third to last active frame of that move. But yeah, so like right here too, and you'll notice that like the way that VG gets punishes are like this. They're like one-off taps. Subtails has the ability to not run into any of this stuff. Right here, he just dash dances a little too close, so he gets hit by this, right? And the fireball comes out, and Subtails doesn't really react to it appropriately, gets hit by that, right? But they're not really strong combos per se. Like maybe VG gets one follow up into a different move. But there's other stuff that I want to talk about specifically when Subtails is on defense. But let's just look right now at this punish, right? Just walling VG out, like right here. Okay, like look at this, right? You're out of the range for a shield grab, right? Because you got pushed away by the down smash. So what are your options as a player that's in shield if you want to punish this, right? And this is something that I think kind of like is the easiest way for Subtails to like improve his play against this playstyle, right? What if a character like, let's say like Luigi or like Mario or Zelda in this case, Sheik as well, they have down smashes that can push you out of shield grab range. Does that mean that they're unpunishable? You know what I mean? Like if you can't shield grab it, what are your other options? You can roll, you can spot dodge, you can jump out of shield, right? But Sheik doesn't have the air mobility or the sort of forward-reaching move, the range on her forward-reaching move in order to punish this, right? You can imagine if this was a Marth, Marth could fare out of shield really easily, but Sheik can't. So the one thing that you can do, though, is you can wave dash out of shield forward, right? Wave dash out of shield forward. Sheik, I believe, has a 4-frame jump squat, airborne on frame 5, and then the 10 frames of special fall after, special landing after the wave dash means 15 frames, right? You have 15 frames in order to punish this, right? So what does VG do here? He rolls away, anticipating the grab, and Subtails just jumps. And you can see he's moving forward, right? But because they're already happened, nothing, he doesn't get anything out of it. But you can imagine a different option, like right, like a wave dash forward out of shield down tilt, or a wave dash forward out of shield jab, or a wave dash forward out of shield forward tilt, or grab, or anything. Like, look at that right there. There's all that time where you could have done something, right? But because I've looked at this set, Subtails doesn't really use that as an option because like he's not comfortable with it yet, right? So let's look at this right here. Gets hit by this forward tilt, right out of grab range. Oh, actually that's really close. Okay, I don't fault him for doing that option, but like you can use wave dash out of shield for several reasons, right? Here's another option right here. You get hit by this dash attack. This is a nair out of shield, obviously, that's the optimum punish, but Subtails, I feel, rolls a lot. Rolls a lot when he doesn't need to, right? So like let's talk about rolls and why you should ever roll. Because there are two things that you need to do for rolls, right? What do rolls do? They put you in another spot and they give you a little bit of invincibility, right? So if you're gonna roll, the best time to roll is when you're gonna be utilizing both of those things. When you don't want to be where you currently are and you want to be invincible while doing it, right? So in this situation, Subtails doesn't want to be here. That's fine, right? He wants to be somewhere else. But the question is, does he need this invincibility? Does he need any of that at all? Not really, right? So wave dash at a shield. That's like the solution. That's something that I do a lot, is when I just want to be in a different spot, but the move is already whiffed or the move is already hit. I know that there's no threat to me. Wave dash at a shield is way more flexible, right? And it's faster. And you can like, you don't have to go through the whole roll animation. You can like change your distance depending on how you want to angle your wave dash. It's like, in general, it can be used as a very strong defensive option. So that's something to like keep in mind, right? And we'll go right here. And notice again that Subtails, like VG is getting a lot of these moves off of Subtails' errors, right? So right here, that's the roll I was talking about earlier. But like there, this dash attack and then this forward smash right here, they both come out because Subtails is misspacing, right? So you can imagine when Subtails is spacing well, and we'll see this later on in the set, that like VG can't touch him, right? It's difficult, but like right there, it's like a whiff. Subtails has to whiff in order for VG to get a hit. Subtails is completely in control of the pace right here, right? Runs up, and I like run up shield. That's like one of my favorite things in the game. Run up, shield. It baits them to do a very poorly spaced attack, and then you can get a punish, a grab, right? Out of here. So that was like a couple of different options that you can do. Again, right? Look at this. And I'm just going to keep hammering it in. Roll, right? You could roll. That's true. What you could do also is you could wave dash down in place. You could just drop shield, right? Like, let's talk about this right here. VG's right there. So much end lag. You aren't threatened at all. So there's no need to roll, right? Wave dash out of shield for a decent amount of the cast serves as a quick substitute to rolling. Like, you don't have to roll if you have a good wave dash. If you don't need the invincibility. Obviously, there are some times when you need that invincibility where rolling is the best option. But in this case, it takes so much time to roll out here. He's so far away. If he had wave dash, he would have been closer, and then he could follow up with a dash attack, right? But now he's too far out. He's way too far out, and now he has to like reset to neutral when he didn't have to necessarily before. Here we go. Tried to kick that fireball, but didn't work. Another roll. But okay, where's VG going to toss him? Yeah. See right here, Subtails is playing at the edge of that range. That's kind of where he wants to be. Right where oh, bad SD. But right where VG is uncomfortable, where he wants to bait VG into throwing a hitbox or like a grab box out, like right here, like that's like a good spot. This is too far. You go too far and the fireball comes out, right? So you want to be at a specific range in order to like make VG super uncomfortable. Here we go. This should be a nice punish for VG right here. And then, oh, okay, well that was lucky. That was lucky that VG wasn't able to place himself right? Look at all this time that VG spends. He could just like wave dash right here. But he's so close to the edge, he's like uncomfortable with it, so he wants to fall off, but he's like, oh no, and he double jumps in, and it's like, okay, Subtails, you could have just died right there, but VG was sleeping. Ooh, and this is another thing. Tech chasing, right? Tech chasing can happen at any moment, so you should be ready for a tech chase situation. Right now, this is a tech chase situation. What do you do, right? What should you do here, right? You notice that they whiff the tech, you either go for the dash attack, right? Or you like wave dash in place to stop your momentum and just wait for something to happen. Because now you're at complete advantage. This is like a really, really good spot in general, is when you have them on corner and you're trying to figure out their tech option. Because if you're standing right here, where Subtails is doing, you get like a guaranteed punish because they roll in and you just like aren't trigger happy about it, then you can get a grab. They roll back, they get up attack, they can't, because roll away isn't an option. You can react to all options, right? So what does he do? He jumps too early. Like it's kind of weird. Like, what is he doing this jump for, right? Like, if you're in a tech chase situation, you want to be waiting and reacting instead. You don't want to be too I guess trigger happy, to use the word again. Trigger happy about it, right? Like, you will get your punish. Don't worry, just like calm down. Like when I see this, right? To me it looks like Subtails is like, oh shoot, Like he wants to beat VG to the punch before he does his tech option, because you know you can get a fair from that, right? If VG like lays on the ground and misses his tech, you could just like short hop, but like you know like Sheik's short hop is like a 3/4 hop anyways, and you can fast fall fair, and that will hit him off stage. And that's the greedy thing to do. What you should be doing, you should be like, okay, I got it, I got him in the tech chase right now. All I have to do is wait and see what he does. When he does something, then I can get that down tilt, I can get a grab, and then I get a follow up after that. And I can get that guaranteed every time, instead of like, oh, I'm just gonna hope that he's slow. You know, that's like a hope. That's like a hopeful kind of thing. And the less you have to hope, and the more you're able to cover things without needing to rely on your opponent messing up, that's when you know that your punish is better, right? So that was like a very like optimistic punish. Like you want to be able to have a plan for the worst case scenario, and that was a move and that was a choice that didn't account for the worst case scenario, which was VG rolling forward, right? Did I? Okay, well, whatever. We're in the next part of the game now. But yeah, here we go. VG punishes that, and wait, let me check. No, that was just a dash grab. That was a shield drop dash grab, or shield release. I don't know, whatever. Because shield dropping is when you're on the platform. But I was wondering if VG was wave dashing out of shield. That would have been interesting to know. Here we go. And this is a forward air. And we got a tech chase. Or no, I mean we got an edge guard situation. Nice. A little too high. Now, up air. Oh! Oh, man. That was close. But okay. There's an up air. And the reason that worked was because Subtails was at such a low percentage, right? VG uses this down smash as a GTFO kind of move, but Subtails is like already out of it. I think this dash attack hits. Yeah, I think that VG didn't expect Subtails to fall off the platform, so because he was so low percent, the move didn't work as intended. So here we go. Oh, nice. It's really cool to see a Zelda dash dance bait something. It's very tough because she's so slow. Here we go. Right again, right? I knew it. I knew that was gonna happen. I knew like this, right? Right here. He down airs on shield. What do you do here? You know, what do you do here? Back air out of shield works, right? But you know that Subtails he probably wants the shield grab, right? So he can't get it from this angle, obviously. So he's like, oh, let me just roll. Let me just roll behind it, even though you don't need to, right? You could wave dash out of shield. And what do you do after this? You down tilt, and it works, right? So I guess it doesn't really make that big of a difference. But like, let's think of a frame perfect VG who L cancels that first off. He didn't even L cancel that. But like, look, VG's standing right now. He could put shield up. You know, he could do whatever he wants. He could like do a neutral B or something. The fact that this happens, like, it's a little too slow. He has a couple frames to walk before he gets hit by this down tilt. So it worked, but it only worked because VG wasn't playing super well either. Right, so it's like you're allowed to get away with it. This is like a move you look at and you don't think, ooh, good choice. You think, ooh, he got away with something where it was like shouldn't have worked. Right, so he gets that. He gets a nice fair follow up. Ooh, and I like that again. The run up shield. See, so good because like this is the exact kind of play that makes Zelda nervous. Right, you're running, and he's like, oh shoot, and I'm VG now. I'm the Zelda, and I'm like. Zelda and this Sheik is gonna short hop fair me like super fast, so I have to stick out that back air right now. I have to stick it out right now if I want to challenge it because fair comes out super fast. So that's what happens. He sticks out this back air, but Subtails chooses not to jump fair and instead chooses to shield. That's a good thing. Like I see that happen and I'm like, good choice, you know. So he gets the grab, gets the good DI on that right here. Ooh, that's funny. He tried 2 times to hit this fireball and it didn't work. Yeah, so. Let's see there. Nice tech chase, a little slow, right? Like, you see right here when Subtails, like, crouches right here? He's reacting to the tech in place, but is, like, literally, like, 1 or 2 frames too slow. And right now, he's looking for that kill, right? So, oof. He's jumping a lot. He's looking for that fair. Oh, and he whiffs it, and then VG's able to do a rising back air to kill him. That should be stock, right? Yep. VG's ahead. But then, right? And then, oh, okay. This is like, Subtails could have gotten this kill. Guaranteed 100%, I can guarantee you got this kill. But the problem is that he's not utilizing the stage to maximize how efficient he can move, right? And this is something that me, like as a player, I always like look for stuff like this. How can I be faster? How can I give myself the most leniency in any situation in order to make sure that like I have the biggest window so that my punishes will always work, you know? Like there are punishes that have like 1 frame windows, but you know, you have to acknowledge that you're not a perfect player. You're not a frame perfect player. So you want to always like, if you can like buy yourself time and buy yourself extra frames of leniency, then you should do it every time, right? And I look at this and I'm like, this is not efficient, right? Forward tilts, right? And he does a full jump, and then he does a double jump, right? So that puts VG out of the zone for where the up air hits. You see where that little bubble is. He was a couple frames off, you know? And maybe if VG was a couple frames slower, it would have hit and VG would have died, right? But let's look at alternate reality Subtails, who thinks the way that I just thought of it, right? Who says, okay, I got him where I want him, and I know that I can get it if I'm perfect, but like let's try to buy some time. Where can we buy this time, right? You buy this time by doing your short hop, right? And then you platform land right here. You wave dash down, land on the platform, and you do another full hop. You see? Because the full hop's initial velocity is higher than the double jumps. So you can see, like, let's count the frames, okay? So, okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then that takes you up to here or something, right? And I think I'm playing this at 30 FPS or something, so that's actually 14, or who really cares? But like, that's a lot of distance covered, right? But let's look at this double jump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's like not even that much. So like, if you full jumped again after the wave land, then you'd be able to up air that a little bit higher. You know what I mean? A little bit higher, and then that would have been enough, right? So like, you should be like looking at these things, these little tricks to like steal and like borrow a lot of time, because that's how you're gonna get these punishes. I think that Subtails doesn't really, he like cleans up the stock really quickly, but that's just like something very important to notice, right? That he had an opportunity, and whenever you have an opportunity and you drop it, that's essentially your opponent getting another stock. Like if you well, not like a stock, right? But like, that's like a lot. That's like a huge deal if you drop a punish. If you drop a punish that's supposed to kill and then they live, they're like living on borrowed time. And I always think about it that way. Whenever you get them in a good punish, you want to finish it, because in theory, like, giving them an extra however so much doesn't mean it's like let's say they're at 150. You're not like the difference between them at 2 stocks and 150 and the difference between that and then a fresh stock at 0 is huge, because they could just like not get hit and do 70% to you or something, right? It's not like, oh, I'm like almost there. It's like, no, you're 1 away. Like if they're at 100 and you could have killed them, right? But you don't, and then they live to 160 or something. That's 1 hit. 1 hit is really hard in this game, you know? So when you can get that hit, you need to take it as soon as possible. So VG ended up misplaying a little bit there in order to even up the stocks, but that was like something that, even though it didn't matter, that was a big turning point. You know, that could have been a big turning point where VG lives at 140 and takes Subtails to like 50%, and then this stock like looks completely different. But right here, Subtails is just gonna stand back, you know, shoot a couple needles, right? And then he's gonna get a really good punish here because of, you know, VG's forced to dash attack, right? Back here again, that's good, right? You see, baiting VG at this very awkward spot. Once VG shoots this fireball, Subtails knows, okay, I can just dash through. I'm gonna dash through and I'm gonna punish him now, right? Right? A couple wins in neutral and VG's already at 66, right? Back throw gets the good DI, right? Again, oh, misses. But like, he's just really good at walling out. VG's really nervous right now, so he's gonna be throwing out a lot of moves. You see that nair? And that's good on Subtails to do this, right? That nair wanted to catch that turnaround, but Subtails is good with dash dancing, and he baits it. Gets this grab, right? You notice that VG shielded that time because you saw that Subtails was dash dancing or dash attacking a lot earlier, right? So let me zoom back, because I think that's going to be the stock after that. So I want to talk a little bit about just the play right here, right? here, there, scared, scared again, down throw, forward air, and that finishes the game, right? So that was like good. Like Subtails is like, he's obviously like a smart enough player. He beat VG after all. So like there are some things that he does really well, but there are some things that I feel like it's not that he doesn't do them well, it's that he doesn't do them, period, right? So it's like the more dimensionality and the more flexibility you can bring into your game by using different options in different situations, that's just gonna give you more tools to make your game more robust, first off, able to cover a larger area, and then also just give yourself a lot more wiggle room, right? If you're just rolling, in order to gain stage positioning instead of like acknowledging the option of wave dash out of shield without, or like if you're like jumping without acknowledging the option of like wave landing onto platforms, then that's taking a slower path than you could have, right? You want to be as fast as possible in this game. This is a game of like nickels and dimes, right? You gotta squeeze every extra frame you can out of your character, and when you do that, that's when the game gets easier, right? This is like trying to cheat your way to giving yourself the easiest time possible, right? Because obviously you can roll and down tilt. That worked, right? But you don't have to. Why would you do that when you could do something that's a lot faster, right? And like, not only does that mean that you have more time for those punishes where the roll down tilt would work, but that also means that you have access to other punishes where the roll down tilt does not work, right? Where now the wave dash forward down tilt, like that's the 1 frame window or something, right? And you'll start to see the game open up, right? As you do that kind of stuff. So that's all I wanted to say. Let me get this spider out of the way because I am out of here. Later, everyone. See ya.